Today, we are going to be discussing the preamble to the governing document. The governing document of the Chickamauga Nation was approved in council in March of 2026. We are an original nation, and which means that as a tribe, band, or nation, we have existed since time immemorial. Real basic meaning for time immemorial would be as far back as any history can document. We came from the mound building culture um, that is expressed in the Southeast Ceremonial Complex, which means sometime between 600 and 900 in the Southeast, we were here. We helped build the mounds, and then the Southeast Ceremonial Complex was our religion and government. They were a combined system. Um, our history comes from Mesoamerica. Um, one of the things that very few people understand is that our history is intertwined with the fabric of the mounds in Tennessee, the Cumberland, the Savannah, Ohio, Mississippi, and Arkansas River drainage basins. And that we are first cousins with other original nations, the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Muskogee Creek, the Natchez, and the Seminole. We are descendants of the mound building culture, and we were here long before the United States. Our jurisdiction extends across where we were located and where our treaties have provided for. And as such, we are a sovereign. A sovereign just means that we determine our own history and government. No one else does. Historically, we forged alliances with the Iroquoian, the Western Confederacy, and the United Indian Nations Confederacy in the mid to late 1700s, and those confederacies still exist. And as a member of the Western Confederacy and the United Indian Nations Confederacy, we are committed to following the governing principles and practices of the Great Law of Peace. Doesn't mean that it functions as our governing document. It says that we follow those principles. No nation has ever granted the Chickamauga Nation, our nation, sovereignty because our nation retains indigenous rights and sovereignty extended by the God of creation. Um, from our ancient laws, all property of the Chickamauga Nation and jurisdiction of this government shall extend throughout the United States within the boundaries described within treaties, presidential promised lands, and traded lands. The citizens of the Chickamauga Nation possess exclusive and indefeasible rights to their respective improvements and shall possess no right nor power to dispose of their improvements in any manner whatsoever to the United States, individual states, nor individual citizens thereof. This is just a nice way of saying if you live on land that the tribe owns, and that you have the right to build on that land. You have the right to do anything that you want to improve. But once you decide you no longer want to live on that land, then everything that you have done and improved on that land stays with the tribe. Therefore, our laws are divinely ordained rules. Our judges read our law once a year and are dressed in their judicial attire. When our judges read our laws, they read the meaning of history and tradition in our oral and written traditions. During the ceremonial festivals, our law is read as a reminder that we are a nation governed by the laws of God and nature. A holy fire and smoke used during the festival are the agents that grant pardon for the sins of the previous year except for murder. This celebration is when all injuries against one another are to be forgiven. Anyone accused of murder cannot participate in this ceremony because participants must be forgiven no matter the nature of their offense. So the preamble of our governing document lays out who we are, what we are doing, where we are going, and thank goodness we have someone who has decided to stand up for those, because as the Chickamauga Nation, we stand.